Welcome to the Adventures in Alchemy podcast, where we share tips, techniques, and true stories to support you in using the law of attraction and alchemy to create magic and live the life of your dreams. Here's your host, the founder of DailyAlchemy.com, Michelle Martin Dobbins.
Hey guys, it's Michelle Martin Dobbins from DailyAlchemy.com, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit back on my harping thing about a one core practice. But I wanted to share with you a book that I've been reading, and it's called The One Thing: The Surprising Simple Truth Behind Extraordinary Results by Gary Keller with Jay Papasan. I hope I'm pronouncing that somewhat correctly. And it's a great book. It's more for business-minded people, but there are great things in it for everybody. And I'm going through it, and I'm making notes. I'm sitting here. If you hear me, I'm kind of flipping through, looking at some of my notes and my drawings and my dog-eared pages. And I love the book, and I love the questions that he has us to ask, which is basically, what is that one thing that you can do that will make pretty much everything else unnecessary? And he gives you a really good way to set up an energy plan for your day, and I really like this, where he says, go live a life worth living, where in the end you'll be able to say, I'm glad I did, not I wish I had. And I love how he teaches how to decide what's really important, because a lot of us keep busy instead of, actually making progress, living our life. So, here his question is, what's the one thing that I could do such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? And while I love this, I love the book, but here in the end, we've got your personal life, your family life, your job, your work, and some of these things, I started to get a little overwhelmed, because it was like, oh, there's one thing for this part of life, and there's one thing for that part of life, and there's one thing for this, and there's one thing for that. And then I remembered, well, wait a minute, there's one thing. There's one thing that makes everything else easier. And for me, that is my meditation that I do. For you, it doesn't have to be a meditation so much. My meditation is not a formal meditation. It's just sitting quietly, usually 2 or 3 times a day, feeling the vibration in my body. And I talk people through how to do that on my website, DailyAlchemy.com. You can get the Revamp Your Vibe in 5 minutes, because it's really short to do. But the thing is, if I do that one thing, and your one thing may not be the same as mine, but I'm going to tell you that likely the one thing that's going to work for you is going to be a form of meditation or mindfulness. I know some people do better with mindfulness, which is more of a moving meditation, just spending time taking a walk and feeling those steps or whatever. But I digress a little. That one thing, finding the one thing for you and doing that one thing every day, and it can be a very short thing. I have 4 kids. I run 2 businesses. I help my husband with his business. I run this business. I do a lot. I choose not to spend 2 hours and 3 hours and 4 hours in meditation. Nothing wrong with people who do. And if that makes them feel blissful, awesome. But for me, I want to have a short practice that puts me in a good vibration, a good place to go out and live life and connect and do and just soak up all the goodness that is out there. Even though I'm an introvert who likes to focus on the inner a lot too. But I really want to live my life full out. And like he said, I don't want to be a person who says, I wish I had. So, we all have to make that choices about the things that are important to us. And that's going to guide our one thing in all areas of life. But I think having one moment that is either meditative or mindful that you do on a regular basis makes everything else flow better. Even when there are problems, they just seem to get solved faster. And you get in touch with that creative part of yourself, and it's easier, because I think some people are like, well, Okay, that's a great question, but I don't know what that one thing is. Well, the thing to do to find your one thing that makes everything else flow in your life is meditation or mindfulness. I know I say this a lot, but it is very, very true. And I myself, I've done meditation and mindfulness practices for a long time since, well, even before I even knew about spirituality or meditation. I used to sit in my bedroom. I had this rug. Okay, I'm telling some stories on myself. I had this rug that my Uncle Truman got for me when I graduated from high school, I think, or just, he would bring things that he found in places. He's a very cool guy. But I had this rug, and to me, it looked like a magic carpet. It was this woven rug that he had gotten somewhere, had been... Okay, so now I look back, it's probably someone got paid very little to do this beautiful handmade rug. But it had the strings and the tassels on the end. So it was like a magic carpet to me. And I would lay on it, and I would pretend it was my magic carpet. And I would close my eyes and just pretend that it was flying along and I was flying on it, and just let go of all my cares. That was the meditation that I used to do before I knew what meditation was. And it was a great one. It helped me a lot to kind of let go of stress and worry. And that's the thing. With a meditation practice, you can do whatever you want, whatever works for you. But here's my challenge to you. Try it for 30 days and see if your life doesn't go more smoothly. I'm not going to say you're not going to get a flat tire. I'm not going to say you're not going to get audited by the IRS. I'm just going to say that when you do that, you're going to tap into higher vibrations. You're going to tap into your own creativity. You're going to tap into the source's creativity, and everything is going to be easier. And you're going to know what the other things are that are important in all areas of your life, because you've taken that time to connect with yourself and with your soul. It makes a big, big difference in our world. And, this summer when I got out of kilter and I stopped doing my practice, and wow, my whole life went in a downhill motion. And so for me, I've had confirmation both ways. I have practiced this enough that I know that it makes my life go smoothly and better, and it benefits everybody that I come into contact with. And when I don't, I lose that connection, I lose that vibration. But the lovely thing is, when you start doing it again, it's pretty easy to pick it right back up. But I would challenge you to pick one thing that you're going to do for 30 days. And if you're all interested, I would highly recommend this book. It's a great book. I'll see if I can put a link to it in the show notes. I'm sure I can. Especially if you are an entrepreneur of any type, it is great. But even if you aren't, still the message of focusing what is important in life is great. And it will help get you out of that busy, busy mode. But on top of reading the book, if you're interested, is to choose one thing and do it for 30 days. Some form of meditation or mindfulness. And I do have a link we'll put in the show notes to a blog at dailyalchemy.com, which kind of describes some different types of meditation. And then I will also put a link to a blog on how to find the best kind of meditation for you. Because if you're a person who is sitting still in lotus position for just doesn't work for, that doesn't mean you can't meditate or you can't engage in a mindfulness practice. You might need to do a moving meditation. Walking your dogs might be your meditation. And if you do that very mindfully and very focused on your steps and your breathing and where you're at and what you're doing, that can be just as effective as someone who sits in full lotus for an hour. It might even be more effective. It just depends on the person. So choose one, do it for a month. Let me know how it's going. Feel free to reach out, Facebook, Twitter, email. You can find all those links at dailyalchemy.com. I'd love to hear from you. Go out and create some magic today. Namaste and big hugs. Would you like some help creating more magic in your life? I've got a ton of freebies and goodies for you. They're all tucked away inside my magical freebie vault. You can get free access, though. You just have to go to www.dailyalchemy.com/magical-freebie-vault. Again, that's dailyalchemy.com/magical-freebie-vault. And when you get there, you can just plug in your name and email, and you will get instant access to all kinds of goodies. There are daily and weekly manifesting planners, the How to Shift Your Vibe in 5 Minutes e-kit that has audios and a workbook. There are moon manifesting planners and daily love lists and money trackers and all kinds of goodies right there. I didn't want to make you have to go to a bunch of different pages and sites and wait for certain freebies to come out. So I just took all of my freebies and put them in one place where you could just sign up one time and download any of them that you want at any time that you needed. So you can just head on over to dailyalchemy.com/magical-freebie-vault and download them today. Have a magical day.
Thanks for listening to the Adventures in Alchemy podcast. Connect with me on thedailyalchemy.com or Facebook at facebook.com/Michelle Dobbins, author. Join us next time for even more magical life tips.